Well, good morning, everybody. Good to be back on a Wednesday and back in another week to talk about this pursuit of fulfillment and satisfaction. This week is diving a little bit further into that idea of the physical pursuit, which I've focused on this issue of time and time management, because I think that really is about in the busyness of life and all the demands and responsibilities and roles we have. I think without that control of time, it's hard to achieve the activities that bring us the enjoyment, the respite, the fulfillment, all those kind of words that everybody wants to have in the pressures and busyness of life. And so, writing about it in the email on Monday, a couple of different things. It's going to be this: here's the thing to focus on, and here's the main obstacle that stands in the way. And so my main focus this week was like find those activities that make you feel content, rested, and kind of glad afterwards. Like that old Coca-Cola commercial when they pop open the top and you get that big that big like relief that comes. That's what I want to have happen with whatever your activity is. And it those lists can be as diverse as the people are that you know and are around you, because it's not an exact science, it's a science about you. So the more you study that for yourself, and the better it will go. Then the obstacle is talking about really is coming down to distractions, whatever those distractions are for you. Certainly, we know the big enemies around here are kind of the technology piece, when too much screen time takes things on top of us. We talked about problematic people to some degree that maybe aren't respecting boundaries, but also just your own ability to kind of persevere and follow through on your own goals versus getting distracted a little bit. And that's where that time management comes in as well. If you're behind the managing your time with your roles and responsibilities and tasks you have, there isn't extra time to be able to do things that create margin for you and rest. So we'll talk through those aspects this morning. There were a couple of exercises that are important to me. I'll even ask that question later, give you a heads up. It's like that one is saying, get a list of activities you love to do. At least think of 4 that are on demand. So you've got one for each week. And I like to raise the bar high, and I say, have that list be 31 things that you love to be able to do. So you got one for every day of the month. So it is a good assignment to do. I'll ask about it in a few minutes again. The second one is just to know, what are your pitfalls? What are those distractions that will take you down? Is it scrolling on social media? Is it something else that gets in the way? Is it something about work or not balancing it well? Figure out what those obstacles and distractions are, because then you have more insight to be able to have the time you need to pursue the things that give you that enjoyment. So as I was thinking about time this week and how time is easy to like lose, and it's hard to remember it sometimes, and just really challenging to do. Here are some interesting like facts about time in regards to history that shows us just how time can be finicky, right? So here's the first one. Betty White was born before sliced bread. You think back to Betty White, the icon of TV, right? She was born in 1922. Sliced bread was not invented till 1928 on the machine. Okay, so that's one that kind of catches us. Guillotines were still in use when Star Wars Episode 4 premiered in 1977. So you think that guillotines were from something long ago in the ancient times, but our friends in France continued to like that one for a long time. Uh, Pink Floyd, if you're a music lover, and Picasso for art, they lived at the same time, right? They both were around in 1973. So Picasso is not just a person from ancient history. I didn't know this one. Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were born the same year. I mean, 2 different trajectories for those 2 famous people in history. 1929. Frank Sinatra passed away the same day Seinfeld ended, right? Feels like in 1998. And then the last one, the first patent for the fax machine was filed the same year people set off on the Oregon Trail in 1843. Now, I'm sure it's a pretty crude fax machine kind of thing, but nonetheless, those things don't seem to mesh when you think of faxes being technology and Oregon Trail being very rugged. But yeah, 1843, those are there. So time gets away, right? What's the same one? When you ask people born in the 80s, when was that? And they're like, oh, 20 years ago. It just kind of things blur and end up going faster. But it's a good illustration of just how difficult time is. You think, oh, I'll have time to rest. I'll have time to do something fun this week. And it doesn't happen because things are shifting very, very quickly. So it brings us to our questions this morning. Like, what helps you step away from the demands of time or a clock or a schedule when you need to be able to have some respite and have a break? What helps you interrupt that and find the gap or margin to rest? What's your go-to for that one? Set an alarm, remind you about it, put it on a schedule. What's the tool you use to get away from the clock? You guys are going to struggle with that assignment I gave, because that was my next question. Maybe it's all rhetorical this morning, right? It was this pop quiz, like, how many things can you think of right now that bring you that contentment and rest when you need it? Like, what's the one thing you'd go to feel great if you had a couple hours right now? I'm challenging everyone to think of 31. Can you even think of one at 5 a.m.? It'd be a good task for the rest of the day and week. It's the same looks I get in my face in the counseling office. That's why I'm bringing it up here. Everyone's like, I don't know. I have no idea what I would do. But that's the point. You have to have some go-to items to be able to do that and go forward. And I know 31 is a lot, but you get the point that no matter what the weather is, no matter who's around, no matter what your financial situation is, no matter what's happening, if you have 31 to choose from, something on that list might sound good, something might sound bad, but you always have one more thing to do, so you're not just feeling stuck and disconnected or not able to get the energy you need as you go forward. So hopefully you guys will be thinking about that through the week, because you all get F's this morning on taking care of yourself. But that's why we're doing this. That's why we're talking about the physical pursuit this morning, about what you do. Did not complete. Okay. Extension. All the kids got an extension last week because of ice. I'll give you guys an extension to next week to get it done. But I am passionate about it. So the final comments here about why this physical pursuit is important. I really do think that the passion we have for life gets rekindled in those activities that we make time for. And it really will kind of offset the grind that wears us down. If you're struggling with something in any one of those dimensions of our wellness, when you have a chance to step away and do something that restores you, that gives you energy and enjoyment, it's a chance to rekindle that passion that you have to do life, to be engaged in those relationships around you and other things. So that's why this is an essential topic. I also think time away from the stress and pressures of life really help you recalibrate and recenter the convictions, the goals, the agenda, the schedule that you have. It's really easy to drift off of where you thought you were headed and then end up in a different spot. So times away will recalibrate and recenter you. And then finally, I think that this physical pursuit really does have a significant impact on the physical bodies that we have, because if you're not taking time for that margin and rest, the accumulation of stress will show up in some physiological symptom around you or within you, and it's a challenge to be able to overcome it. Well, if you're taking time to get that rest margin, doing the things you want, then all those chemicals we were talking about last week, right? You got lots of dopamine going, lots of endorphins going, so you know that your body is having what it needs to be successful beyond just the chance to decompress and be away from stress. People don't do well when they're in a constant hypervigilant state, a constant pressure to be able to go forward, a constant need to just keep pushing and cut the corners on rest, food, hydration, sleep, and it starts to accumulate in this little slow avalanche downhill. So this week, all this material is designed to help you catch your breath, both figuratively and literally, and be able to restore yourself so you have the energy to do all the other things that are in store for you with your tasks, with your roles and responsibilities. So we get to progress into these other aspects of it as we go through the rest of the month. I think next week is the emotional pursuit. So we'll come back to that one. Maybe it's the mental pursuit, but laid it out last week. But physical pursuit. So as you guys think about your day through the workout or through the week, let's really have you come back and say, I know what I do. One or two things just to start. Get to 4, so you've got one each week that you know you can look forward to, even schedule or arrange with other people to be able to do, and increase that list as much as you can, because you should have it. Let's move away from blank stares about what do you do for fun and really be able to give some good answers, because it is powerful to recalibrate, recenter, and have that energy you need to do all the jobs and responsibilities and tasks that each of you have. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating so well. I always appreciate it. Have a good workout.